Tonight's hardball debate centers around a woman who hardly seems debatable, Mother Teresa. But her private letters, newly released, reveal she had deep doubts about her religion, her work, the very existence of God. She's Time Magazine's cover story this week, and here's an excerpt of her letters. Quote, "Where is my faith? Even deep down, right in there is nothing but emptiness and darkness. My God, how painful is this unknown pain? I have no faith. I dare not utter the words and thoughts that crowd in my heart and make me suffer untold agony." So our debate tonight, an odd one for us, a spiritual one, Mother Teresa, a story that's developing of sainthood or of scandal. I'm joined by Christopher Hitchens, author of both God Is Not Great and The Missionary Position, which is a very unkind look of Mother Teresa, and Bill Donahue, the president of a group called the Catholic League. I want to go to Christopher Hitchens. Christopher, you've been tough. You say that this is a profound revelation that this woman didn't believe.
Yes, and a very moving one, actually, and a very honest one, I have to add. She tried her best to believe. Her atheism was not like mine. I can't believe it, and I'm glad to think that it's not true that there's a dictator in the heavens. And so the fact that there's no evidence for it pleases me. She really wished it was true. She tried to live her life as if it was true. She failed, and she was encouraged by cynical old men to carry on doing so because she was a great marketing tool for her church. And I think that they should answer for what they did to her and what they've been doing to us. I think it's been fraud and exploitation yet again.
Bill Donahue, your reaction?
Yeah, this is kind of laughable, isn't it? I mean, I suppose next week we'll find out that Mother Teresa considered herself to be a sinner as well. Look, the fact of the matter is the Vatican is standing behind this book. If this is such an embarrassment to the Catholic Church, why in the world is the Vatican proud of this book? I'm proud of it too. You have to understand, give me a quick anecdote. When she was in the United States, a professor came up to her and said, "Are you married?" Mother Teresa said, "Yes, I am married to a spouse who sometimes makes it difficult for me to smile. His name is Jesus, and that's because he's very demanding." Now look, any person of faith understands what I've just said, but if you're a dogmatic atheist, then you would have a very difficult time trying to understand this, and quite frankly, I'm not sure if I have enough time to educate Mr. Hitchens.
No, I agree, that does sound like white noise and nonsense to me, and I think probably to almost everybody else. If I'd told you last month, actually, you probably do know this, but a lot of these letters were published in 2002, but if I told you in 2001 that Mother Teresa didn't believe that Jesus was present in the Eucharist, and couldn't feel
she never said that.
And yes, she did.
No, she did.
And Father Kozeluch has been very clever and honest, I think, in saying so. But couldn't feel it in her heart, couldn't feel it in the real presence, so-called, of the Mass and the Eucharist. If I told you that, you would have accused me of slandering your so-called faith.
Well, let me ask you this, Christopher. A number of years ago, you wrote the screed against her. 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches long, 98 pages, not a single endnote, not a single footnote, not a single citation. I've told you before, I'm going to tell you it again tonight, buddy. If you handed that in to me in an undergraduate class, you'd have to get an F. When you make a serious charge against a serious...
You're never likely to be anybody's professor, Mr. Donahue.
An Englishman has to be quiet when an Irishman talks. Let me tell you something. When you make a serious charge against a serious person, a public person like Mother Teresa, and you have no evidence whatsoever, what in the world do you expect? You have to get an F.
Well, no, this is well below the F level. I mean, in my book, I said that she took money from the Duvalier family in Haiti, not denied. That she took money from Charles Keating of the Lincoln Savings and Loan in exchange for an olive wood crucifix.
Right. She took from the rich to give to the
denied.
poor.
None of the factual assertions made in my book have ever been challenged, and actually got very respectable reviews in the Catholic press. And for this, reason,
you have no evidence. You didn't have one citation.
And for this reason, Mr. Donahue, the reason I got respectful reviews in the Catholic press was this. As Lord Macaulay once brilliantly put it, the great strength of the Catholic Church used to be that it knew how to discipline fanatics and enthusiasts and zealots. It knew how to keep under control people who were too hungry and too fanatical. Because of the opportunist chance that Mother Teresa offered them for publicity, they failed to restrain someone who really should have been seeking proper help that she never got. Instead, they exploited her to the very end and even gave her an exorcism, as you know. The Archbishop of Calcutta has admitted it, even had to give her an exorcism in 1997 because they had so much despair of her state of mind. It's a cruel exploitation of a simple and honest woman.
At the end of the day, This is a woman who received 124 awards, who set up hospitals, hospices
they were
for
worthless
AIDS
to her.
patients. Well, no. As an Englishman, again, you have to be quiet when an Irishman
In the book,
speaks.
she says the awards were worthless to her.
Listen, you want to take it outside,
I have to let Bill.
That's fine.
Bill needs some time here. Bill, take 30 seconds.
Hang himself anytime he likes.
Wait a minute.
Christopher, we have to give him 30 seconds, please.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you don't want to hear it. She set up hospices, the first one for AIDS victims here in Greenwich Village. She opened up 500 hospitals, hospices, homeless centers, health clinics, orphanages. That's why she's loved all over the world. In India, when they surveyed the people, next to Gandhi, she was regarded as the most revered person. Now, all the whole world is wrong, and you, with your 98-page book, 5.5 by 8.5 inches in long, you have no citations, you have no evidence. Who's the world? Who's going to believe? Me or you?
I turn out to be right, though, don't I?
I don't think you did.
I don't believe a word of it, and neither did she. Well, I never expected that there would be just the two of us.
The Vatican is very happy about
together we certainly
I have a citation I want to get. Let me end the citation with a citation that's relevant to this discourse. Jesus has a very special love for you, she wrote to someone. But as for me, the silence and the emptiness is so great that I look and I do not see. I listen and I do not hear. The tongue moves in prayer but does not speak. I want you to pray for me, then I let him have a free hand. So she must believe in something to ask someone to pray for her, or was that just rhetorical, Christopher?
No, as Mr. Donahue was trying and failing to say, his church has, in fact, an answer for everything. Because it says if you can't believe it, if it all seems to be radically untrue, nonetheless, faith will square that circle for you. She was trying for that, but as we now know, she failed. It can't be done. You can't make people believe the impossible. All you can do is make them feel very guilty that they can't make themselves believe it.
The only people who don't have doubts today are dogmatic atheists. People like you, Chris.
Christopher.
Okay, Bill Donahue, sir, thank you for joining us. And Christopher Hitchens, very much. Your writings are brilliant.